Welcome to my virtual presentation. I'm Dr. Kibet from the Center for Open Distance and E-Learning, Machakos University. This video is meant for teachers, lecturers, university professors, early childhood education students, psychology students, and the guidance and counseling experts. If you like my video, kindly share, subscribe, and like. The topic of my presentation today is on discussion method of teaching. Discussion methods are a variety of forums for open-ended, collaborative exchange of ideas among a teacher and students, or among students for the purpose of furthering students' thinking, learning, problem-solving, understanding, and literary appreciation. The discussion method is an oral interaction between the teacher and the students or the children. The discussion could be planned or unplanned. In other terms of discussion, used for pedagogical purposes are instructional conversations. Discussion is important to learning in all disciplines because it helps students process information rather than simply receive it. Leading a discussion requires skills different from lecturing. The goal of a discussion is to get students to practice thinking about the course materials. The role of the teacher becomes that of a facilitator. You design and facilitate a discussion rather than convey information. If you want to hold a discussion, don't do all the talking yourself. Don't lecture to the group or talk to one student at a time. How do we prepare for our discussion? To start planning a discussion, or any instruction for that matter, decide what you want your students to get out of the discussion. For example, do you want them to share responses, make new connections, and articulate the implications of a text? Should they be able to work certain problems by the end of the hour? Should they be able to interpret and critique a journalistic photograph or a piece of art? Deciding on and articulating the objectives of the discussion will help you decide what kinds of discussion activities will best help your students reach that objective. Remember that you can organize a discussion in many different ways. You can have students work in small groups, role play, choose sites for a debate, or write and share a paragraph in responses to the theme in question. You'll also want to leave time to wrap up and summarize the discussion for your students, or have students summarize it, or to debrief after activities such as debates or role plays. The teacher's role, like that of other children, is to be a good listener and, when necessary, stimulate the discussion through questions. During the lesson, there should be rules governing discussions. For example, all children or students must listen to the speaker. The teacher must be fair to all children or students by allowing them adequate time for sharing. Discussion should be carried out using the whole class, small groups, or even in twos. Children or students could, for example, be given an opportunity to describe their own activities to the other children or teachers, tell stories, talk about familiar objects, things in their environment, e.g. animals, plants, friends, toys, buildings, family, photographs, pictures, their own work, painting, or drawing. Participants present multiple points of view, respond to the ideas of others, and reflect on their own ideas in an effort to build their knowledge, understanding, or interpretation of the matter at hand. Discussions may occur among members of a dyad, small groups, or a whole class, and be teacher-led or student-led. They frequently involve discussions of a written text. Through discussions, although discussions can also focus on a problem, issue, or a topic that has its basis in a text, in the larger sense of the term. For example, discipline, the media, societal norm. Now, so lastly, I want us to talk about advantages and disadvantages of a discussion method. Advantages. Discussion improves children's oral fluency, vocabulary, and confidence. It also enhances their imagination and logical thinking. And finally, children also learn from one another and learn to respect other children's views and turn taking. Disadvantages. Discussions are time consuming. Only a few guided topics can be covered since discussion cannot be hurried. Therefore, bright students tend to monopolize the discussions. Weak students may not be willing to participate, but should be encouraged to do so. And finally, it's not very easy to evaluate a discussion method of teaching. So that marks the end of my presentation. If you like my video, kindly subscribe. You can like and even share.